Welcome, everybody. It's so great to be here with everybody. So tonight's topic is about redefining humanity. And I'm particularly excited about this topic because it's something that I've been thinking a lot about, and I think that a lot of us are thinking about it due to the circumstances that we find ourselves in. And we kind of all know that change is here and change is coming. And we kind of want to know what we need to do. And it's just amazing to gather with people together and, you know, have a little bit of food, have a little bit of drink, and create meaning and purpose, and come together and really think about what our actions are, what kind of impact they're having, especially now. So I'm really excited about tonight. And we're going to start by just going around and introducing ourselves. So I guess I will start. We're just going to say a few words about ourselves. Let's try to speak briefly. We want to make sure that we get to everybody. So my name is Sarah. I'm from New York, born and bred. I am married with a 5-year-old daughter that they're in the next room making pizza. And I look forward to coming here every week and just sitting and meeting new people and really thinking about these ideas, because I think they're really important right now. And can we hear from Elisa?
Hi, everybody. I'm very excited too. I'm a regular now. I feel like, and many of you already know that I'm from New York, from Brooklyn, from a very foggy, today is a very foggy day, and I can see barely nothing, anything, but it is all so beautiful and crisp here. I can see your beautiful faces. Very excited to be here and to dine together. That is the best part, I think. Thank you, everybody who's here. And I don't think Bonnie, right? And yeah, can I ask you, please continue, introduce yourself. I think this is the first time I see you here.
Yes, it is our first time.
Yes.
And we're very excited to be here. I'm from California originally, living in Colorado. And my husband's from Hawaii, and I'll let him introduce himself. And I'm just very excited to be here and to be having a meal and a conversation with you.
And we're both in Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado, and great being here. We're both retired, and so it wasn't too much of a jump to stay at home during the COVID event. So great being here and great socializing with you. That's it. Carl, can you speak?
Yes, I can. Thank you. I'm Carl from Florida. I'm a builder and a home inspector, and I was born in Virginia, moved to New Jersey, and then moved down here to Florida about, I guess, 25 years ago. And I love socializing too. That's why I'm here. That's why I like to host this, and talking about things that are going to make the world a better place is what I like to socialize with people that do that. If we have time, we don't have time. Can we go on? It's time for a song, but you know what? Let's have the song, and then we'll get to know a little bit about the other people in the warm-up game that we have. So go ahead, John, if you want to warm us up with a song.
I will do that. Hello, everybody. I'm John, and I was invited by my friend Carl over there, or wherever he is on the screen. I want everybody on planet Earth in these crazy times to get a huge hug from me. I think everyone just needs to be heard, and everyone needs to be hugged. No one should be telling anybody else, but I love you. Anyway, here's a song, because sometimes we feel like we've got nothing in common, and that's what this song talks about. Will you say we've got nothing in common? Your common ground starting from we're falling apart. What now? Pretty plain to see things are over. I hate them things are over. There's so much left undone. Then I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany? She said, I think I remember the film. As I recall, I think both kind of liked it. And I said, well, that's one thing we got. Will you say worlds come between us? Our lives have come between us. I hope that I'm wrong. And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany? She said, I think I remember the film. As I recall, I think both kind of liked it. And I said, well, that's one thing we got. And I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany? She said, I think I remember the film. I recall, I think both kind of liked it. And I said, well, that's one thing we got it going on. And you say, we've got nothing in common. Let's find something in common. Thanks for inviting me.
That's great, John. Thank you. That I wanted to get warmed up, and that really warmed me up. I wanted to get up and dance. That was good. Really great job. Thank you. So to warm us up some more, we're gonna have a kind of a game here where we're gonna tell stories. So we're gonna tell 3 stories about ourselves. And I'm going to say it like this. 2 of them are real news and 1 of them is fake news. Okay, so I'm going to go first and then I'm going to call on somebody. And first of all, after I'm going to do all 3. And then after I'm done telling my 3 stories, I'm going to say number 1, then number 2, and number 3. And thumbs go up when you think it was the fake news. Okay? And then the same person who does it after me, do it in the same fashion, and then call on somebody when you're done. Okay? So, number 1 is my great uncle was the President of the United States, James K. Polk. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, baldness it runs in my family, and I don't want to be bald. So I did research, and they do stem cell. They can, grow your hair out. So I had it done. The only thing is it worked. You can see it worked, but the only thing is my back is really hairy too. So, you know, it's all right. I just have to shave my back once in a while. And number 3, I just made, before this call, I just made 3 really kick-ass cheesecakes. And they're cooking in the oven now. All right. So number 1. Number 2. And number 3. Okay. So nobody knows me. Nobody knows me. The one that was fake news was the hair. This is my natural hair. Okay. And are you ready? I'm going to call on iPad 69, and you can tell us your name, please.
Oh,
You muted yourself again.
okay. Is that, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Teresa. I live in New York City. And I'll just jump into the storytelling. I come from a small family. I'm an only child. That's number 1. Number 2, I went to a very unusual college. I became a chiropractor. That's number 2. And then number 3 was I used to live one. You're voting already?
We couldn't hear number 3. You got
Yeah.
cut
Can
off.
you tell us number 3 again?
Oh, I used to live in Europe. I lived in Europe. Okay. So are you ready to vote?
Yeah, let's vote.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm ready to tell what was the score?
I don't know. Just tell us the fake one.
Oh, I'm from a large family of 8 children. But I am a
Wow.
chiropractor and I used to live in Italy for 10 years.
Sweet. Okay. Can you pick someone now?
I can't see everybody.
Okay. I'll pick someone.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll pick Joanne, please.
You're muted.
We can't hear you, Joanne.
Here I am. How are you? 3 stories and one's got to be fake. Oh my god. Oh wow. Well, I'm Joanne from New York. I lived in the Bronx all my life. I live in Rye now. That's my first story. Second story. I work for Panera Bread. Business really picked up after 2 months of nothing. You know, in the restaurant Panera, which is also in a hospital at Westchester Medical Center. And I've been there with them for about 6 years now. And third story is I used to be a professor in a college. That's it. So the first story, I live in Rye from New York and the Bronx. Thumbs up or down? The second story, I work for Panera Bread. Been there 6 years. Third story, I was a professor in college. Right? You're right, you're right. I was never a professor in college, but I do work for Panera Bread, and I do live in New York in the Bronx. I lived in the Bronx. I live in Rye right now. Nice to meet all of you. This is my first time with this group. That's
Thank
oh,
you.
I should have made that one in my stories, but yeah, it's my first time. Hello.
Thank you, Joanne. You're a great actor.
Okay,
Actress.
thank you.
Actor.
I don't like to lie. I don't like to lie. So it's hard to tell a story that's not true. That's what the problem was. You want me to pick somebody?
Please, if you could.
Oh my God. Elena. How about Elena?
Okay, hi everyone. I am from Brooklyn, New York. Some of you already know me, I think. I'm not first time on this beautiful project we have, the Open Diner. And let's go to my stories. I'm not sure how good of a storyteller am I, but let's try. I have a big family. I'm one of 6 kids. I have lots of nieces and nephews, and I have even a grandson. This is the first story. The second story, I was a business owner for many years. I had a store in Manhattan that closed after 9/11. And the third story is that I never been abroad. I really, most of the time I am staying in America. I really not traveling. I don't like travel so much. So I think it was an easy one. Okay, so let's vote. So the first story is the first story is true. I mean, I have one of 6 brothers and sisters, and I have a grandson and everything. So
Wait, you're telling us. Don't tell us which ones are true.
I got confused. Okay, sorry. I thought like you voted before, so I'm okay. I got confused. Okay, so I messed this one. So the second story is the one. Do you want to vote first on the second story? Okay, so that is true. And the third story, who wants to vote? Okay, you're almost there. Yeah, so I love to travel. I travel not maybe to so many countries as some of us, but I travel to many countries in Europe, Israel, and that's one of the things I love actually to do in my spare time. And I choose Melinda. We don't hear you, you're muted.
Mute. Unmute. Got it. Okay. My name is Melinda. My first story is my husband and I are retired to a very, very small town in Western North Carolina. We have 6 children and 9 grandchildren. My second story is I have a PhD in neuroscience. And my third story is I spent the first 25 years of my life growing up in Latin America and the Middle East. Those are my 3 stories. So, should I repeat them?
No, everybody vote on number 1.
That's true.
Number 2.
Everybody voted? I don't have a PhD in neuroscience. My son does.
Wow, I thought it was number 3, for sure.
Number 3, no, that's true.
Okay, we have time for one more. Can you choose someone?
Yes, Leslie. Leslie?
Hello, I'm Leslie from North Carolina. My first story is that I had an accident when I was a teenager where I almost lost my life. My second story is that I am related to the Irish singer Enya. My third one is I am a cancer survivor. That's my stories. 1. That's true. 2. You're pretty good. No, I'm not related to Enya. And 3 is true. Do I need to pick someone? Are we done with the
Yeah,
game?
we do have time. We have time for one more.
Let us hear from Roberta.
Okay. So true, false. I was a race car driver, professional race car driver. I went to school for dentistry and I went to the Oscars. So I'm a professional race car driver. I was. Okay. I've been to the Oscars. Maybe. And what was the last one I said? Oscars, dentistry. No, I have a chipped tooth through the, believe it or not, through the quarantine. And I need to go to a dentist. I never went to dentistry. The truth is I was a race car driver in my 20s professionally. So that's the truth. So I guess we're moving on to the next one. Carl, Sarah, or time
Yeah,
for
Sarah's
we're gonna move on. Just a couple of things I wanted to say is, number one, everybody remember that we are live on Facebook. Everybody's doing such a great job to this point, but I just want to remind us going forward that we speak briefly. Let's try to make sure that everybody gets a turn and let's stay on topic. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to keep the Zoom open. We're going to turn, when we're done at 7:30, we're going to turn off the Facebook. So we won't be live anymore, but we will keep the Zoom open so everybody can just stay and hang out and talk. And if you have any tech problems or questions or whatever, feel free. So if you have anything that you want to say, hold it and wait until we're done at the end, okay? So we're going to move to a video now. This is another great video, again, on the topic of how are we conceiving of humanity. We have to really rethink what humanity is at this point. We all see that. I think everybody sees that. So, the question at hand is, what is humanity and how can we build this together? One Zoom at a time. So, Rona, can you run the clip?
No, I had a question, and the question was, how much did you cut them by?
We have actually produced more oil.
No, how much did you cut licenses and permits on federal land?
We must change with it.
I have written an open letter to President Obama, reviving that slogan. During the Clinton presidential campaign, they had a slogan called, "It's the economy, stupid." For me, the slogan is, "It's the worldview, stupid." It's unless the worldview changes, unless the worldview acknowledges listening to the values, listening to the personal meaning of life and the social meaning of life, unless we do this, real change cannot come. So I wrote to President Obama, if you talked about real change that we can believe in, if you really want change that we can believe in, please help us to change our worldview.
The change of man is the key to changing everything else in the world. Without it, nothing significant will change. What we need is not just patching up, not just solutions to current problems. What we need is a transformation, a fundamental transformation, which means a change of values, the change of thinking, change of consciousness, change in the way the human being thinks and acts.
Worldviews affect the engine of civilization. It affects who we each individually think, who we are and how we behave, and our moral sense, business. It affects everything. An experiment was done by two social psychologists where they did the following. They took a bunch of students and they had them read one of two passages. One of the passages was description of who we think we are. And then the key phrase in this paragraph was, "You're nothing but a pack of neurons." That were basically all material substances, in which case everything you think you are, all of your thoughts and emotions and all of your interior life is nothing but a pack of neurons. And then they gave the students the opportunity to do a couple of experiments where they could cheat if they wanted to. And what they found was that the students who read the passage, "You're nothing but a pack of neurons," cheated significantly more. If your worldview says that there is no inherent meaning in anything, and ultimately the universe is a pointless object, and when you die, you're dead and there's nothing else going on, then it changes your sense of, how do I need to live right now? Well, I should get everything I should get right now. I should cheat if I have to. Whereas if we had a different model, which said maybe you're part of some gigantic living system with some kind of inherent meaning and all the rest, it could have consequences not only for yourself, but for your loved ones and everyone else.
All the problems that we're facing right now, they're not problems. They're actually questions.
Who are we? Who do we really choose to be? How do we choose to relate to life itself? How do we choose to relate to all the different elements of life, the environment, the planet itself, obviously the people?
Why are we here, and where are we going from here?
What is the meaning of my life?
We're in a transition stage where the old answers are no longer sustainable, and that's why we're facing the crises we face. So there's a population in a state of flux saying the old stuff doesn't work, and we're ready for new answers that will create a newer, more sustainable civilization. Simple point, the old civilization is no longer sustainable, the answers are flawed, new answers are in, and we're in the moment of taking those new answers and weaving a new culture that will support those answers and support ourselves.
At this critical point in time, we have to redefine what it means to be human. We have to choose a new identity, literally choose a new identity, and recreate ourselves anew as a humanity. Recreate ourselves as a brand new kind of living organism, a brand new kind of species, and recreate the organism as a cluster, as a group, rather than as a scattering of single individuals. We have to change our thinking about who we are in relationship to each other.
We've been living in a competitive society for too long, and the world we see is the result. The ego, the competitive ego. What we have to do is learn how to cooperate and drop the ego and realize, again, that if we have people in one country that are very poor and people that are very wealthy, the wealthy are going to have to get big armies and big fences to keep those other people out. It's not going to work with the divisions of society that we have today and the stratification.
Man has to go through a change to realize that his life should be lived for the unity of mankind, and that we're all like one man and one heart, and we're sharing that desire, sharing that thought. We're on mutual connection, making mutual concessions in reciprocity, like cells of a living body.
Right. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next segment, which is doing our roundtable discussion. Can we get the workshop guidelines up? Perfect. Okay, so so a couple of things just about, let's say, roundtable etiquette, we're calling it. So what we're trying to do in these discussions is we're trying to create, like think of it as like a prism, right? We're trying to create this really round, additive perspective where every single person has something that they're adding to it, right? So everything that you put in is an and. We're creating this fullness together, right? This holistic view. So everybody is equal. Everybody is really important. That means that we really ask you to put yourself, put your, the whole of who you are and your thinking into your answers. If you're speaking, you're actively sharing. If you're not speaking, you're actively listening and trying to feel the other person and absorb their answer. Everybody is going to stay really brief and on topic, and enjoy.
So that film is really, really interesting. I actually read books from some of the speakers that were there, and redefining humanity. Why do we have to redefine humanity? Why do we have to raise our consciousness? I think because we, as humans, I think we make the biggest difference in the world. I mean, you can see it with our attitudes, what happens in the world. So it it seems like it's really time for some kind of change in awareness and change in our attitudes towards others. So I think that's why, because we make the biggest difference, humans. And so the question is that we're going to go around is, what does it mean to be human? So give us your, like Sarah said, give us your heartfelt answer to that. And we'll start with Dawn Vines. And then Dawn, if you can choose somebody.
Hi. You would pick me to go first, Carla. Thanks. What does it mean to be human? I think for me right now, it means to be the best version of myself that I can be. To be truly alive and open to life's experiences and aware of the impact that I have on others through my actions and my influence and my way of being. And I would like to call on Teddy.
Well, the term critical point or critical turning point in humanity is just screaming at me right now. So I just feel like all of humanity, we are at a critical point in since the virus, all of the chaos going on. The intensity is so great. So I feel a huge critical change, a critical point in all of humanity. So that's what it's meaning. It's to take responsibility and be that that person that, like you said, can be the best and contribute to all of humanity the best way possible.
Can you choose someone, Teddy?
Gary? Oops. Gary?
Hi, thanks. Humanity, what is it to be a human? I think it just means being responsible for every situation that I'm put in, treating other people the way I'd want them to treat me, seeing the best in people, and accepting them for what they are. And hopefully they will accept me for what I am. So yeah, I think that's about the best I can come up with on the spur of the moment right now. Let's try Pamela.
Hi, everybody. I was thinking about this, and I'm going to go back to my grandmother, who I remember that I came home from school from a lesson where the teacher had said, treat everybody the way you want to be treated. So, and my grandmother lived with us, which is a typical European family. Everybody lives together. And she said, she was like, no. She was like, you don't treat everybody how you want to be treated. You treat everybody. And you hear a lot of people say that. I treat everybody how I want to be treated. And she really made me stop. And I'm so grateful. I was like 12 years old. And she said, you treat people how they want to be treated. She was like, you don't know. She was like that, just be respectful. But she was like, how would anyone want to be treated? She was like, with respect and kindness. And I was like, well, that's what I want to be treated with. She was like, yeah, but just don't ever assume. She's like, people are always like, I treat people how I want to be treated. She was like, no, treat people how they want to be treated. So that's how I've tried to walk through my life. I always, I pause every time she says, her voice is in my head, and I try to treat people always with respect and kindness. And I am going to pick John from Florida, John FL.
Thank you. That was actually an awesome thing that I've never heard before. Of course, my parents aren't from Europe. Maybe that's why. I'm going to just be a little bit more contrarian. When I think of humanity, I think of animals. We're selfish. We're built on this desire that we all want the best for ourselves. And we kind of figured out that if we can work with our families, we could maybe get more for ourselves through our families. And then we decided to join as communities and as countries. And we all worked to get unity for ourselves so we could win. And now we've kind of run out of us against them. And now it's us against us. And so humanity has to change. We have to evolve. I don't want to offend anybody. But, we need to grow beyond our animalistic inborn tendencies as a part of nature and rise above that and try to reach a point where we can be more in touch with what every one of us wants. And it's real easy. And it's a word that never offends anybody. And it's, I love you. And everybody needs to be loved and everybody needs to be heard. And the other thing is that I just don't like what's going on today a lot in society is everyone's trying to push their ideas onto somebody else. Everyone's trying to fix everybody else. And the only fixing that needs to take place is right here. That's going to be the new human. Elisa?
I'm gonna
go ahead.
I'm gonna stop you there. We're gonna go to the second question, which actually, John, I feel like maybe you somehow read the lineup in your mind somehow. But the second question is, the old civilization is no longer sustainable. So how do we weave a new humanity? How do we weave a new humanity? And I would love to hear from Moon.
Sorry, thank you. I'm just going into my chest and feeling that regardless of one's orientation and comfort zone, to go into feeling and go into the discomforts of feeling, to then lead from action there versus the head or the worry about what will happen if this happens or if I do that or whatever. I think that would be one through line that would help a ton towards new humanity. We all have different feelings, but just to get in touch with what we're feeling, I think can reduce reactivity and slow things down and result in more thoughtfulness from here. I would love to hear from Alyssa. Alyssa?
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, it took me a long time to unmute.
it is such a beautiful thing what's happening, and I think everybody who answered on the previous question, and you started like slowing down, and the scientists' words are stuck in my head, and I'm so impressed. One of them was saying is weaving a new humanity, and I think with all your answers, I just feel, and the other scientists said that you have to start from a human, from yourself, and what you were saying. All of a sudden, I have to think that it's me who have to stop reacting, judging, and just reverse everything that I was accustomed to do, almost everything. Nobody taught me like, treat the others the way they wanted to be treated, or even the way you wanted to be treated, and I have to basically stop, just smash this shield between me and the other person, and just see them as they are, allowing them to be as they are, and the space between us, allowing each other to be without critique and judgment, will build a new relationship between all of us. I believe strongly in that, and thank you for helping me start thinking in that direction, and just not to be always defensive and, shatter immediately everybody, So I don't know if Rona would like to continue and say something.
Yes, thank you. But I would, there was something that someone taught me once, that the entire planet is like a big organism, and each one is, like a cell or an organ in it. The new humanity would be a place where each one has their own function and recognized for it. No one is being downplayed or looked upon in a negative way, just like we judge each other nowadays. And I would pick Nancy.
Rona, give me a second. I wanted to share some comments we have on Facebook also. Michelle is saying that we need to listen to each other with our hearts. And Norca is saying that for me, it means to be in unity. When we're speaking about the how to weave the new humanity. And she also says we must educate ourselves to be true humans. Thank you everyone on Facebook, and please continue to share your opinions. I'll read them here too.
Nancy, can you continue?
4. Yeah, okay. You know what? This is such a huge question. It's like the whole world has got to damn well start and be mindful and not thinking of what's going to happen in the future, and just sit there with today and do it out one step at a time. It's because there's no one to get up there and say, hey, it's like saying to me, I don't want to talk to you, Nancy, because you have blue eyes, or I don't know how people have to start getting educated from a really young age that people are born different ways. Somebody may be transgender. Teach people from the very beginning. And we just have to start at the very beginning, because we just don't. We just don't, and we've got to start. That the color of your skin, I mean, I'm like pale, well, I want to be kind of little tan, but basically, come on, the color of your skin is just skin. people need to realize it's because Black people have what, different melatonin? Is that what it is? It's not melanomen. You know that thing, that chemical, whatever, that makes you be darker or whatever. I have no idea. And that homosexuality, there's animals who are homosexual. I mean, treat from the very beginning, you guys, they've got to know, because that's the world that's facing them, and they've got to know how, oh, there's all different stuff. You know what? There's fish who are homosexual. There are people that are born that way. There are people also that are born and they think, everyone thinks they're a girl, but they feel like a boy. Let them when kids' mind is open. Do you know what I mean? When it's just starting to absorb things and nip that crap in the bud. I can't stand this racism, I was raised by a Black woman, and she told me, Nan, I gave you your soul. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it's something good. But anyway.
Nancy, I think we have time just for one more person. Could you call on one more person? Oh, I think she's frozen. Okay, I'm gonna call on one more person. 605044. Can we hear from you?
Frank, we can't hear you.
Frank, you're muted.
I'm mute. Can you hear me now? I got to get my name in. I've never learned how to do it Zoom. And the situation number one, for a little while, people themselves want to protect me and mine. But perhaps the future is the future generation, the young people who don't have so much an establishment interest. My hope is that they gradually will change. I think they are changing. They're less materialistic and more group oriented. The other thing people also can see by this, to protect mine, I got to watch out for Joe down the street or he'll infect me. So there is still the selfish interest, but an awareness, it can be better served by being aware of other people's needs. Ultimately, people will always want theirs. Ultimately, there has been more of a trend toward the community and less by the self. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That really, nobody ever calls on me, but I just want to say really quickly that I was listening to all of you and I just thought, this is how you do it. This is exactly how you do it, is you sit around at a table and everybody answers and has their say, and we make a list and then we implement that list. Why don't we just do that all the time? So thank you, really, all of you so much. John, would you please play us another song?
I will. He had white horses and ladies by the score, all dressed in satin, waiting by the door. What a lucky man he was. What a lucky man he was. country and his king, for his honor and his glory. The people, they'd all sing. What a lucky man he was. What a lucky man he was. Oh, what a lucky man he was. A bullet found him. His blood ran as he died. Now his money did not save him. So he laid down and he died. Lucky man.
Ooh, what a lucky man he was. Sorry, John, I just had to. I love that song. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. So this topic was a huge topic. I think for everybody here, everybody feels it. And like Sarah was saying, she really took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say. You know, this is how we do it. You know, and I'm kind of concerned, like, what happens when this Zoom gets like 4 pages long? What are we gonna do? But we'll tackle that when it happens. But really, thank you everybody for having this concern, and I really think this is the most important thing. And it's really great that we're getting together, and what we're doing, I think, is really making a difference. I really think it is. So we don't have time for impressions, but like Sarah said, we're going to go off of Facebook at the end. And if you want to stay on, you can give impressions and ask questions. What we're going to do right now is have a little bit of fun. We're going to listen to a song. And when you're spotlighted, like you see from the previous songs, you get spotlighted. When you're spotlighted, you do a dance or do some kind of move, do something, and everybody follows that. So then the next person that gets spotlighted, they do some kind of dance and everybody follows. Okay? So I guess it's pretty self-explanatory, and here we go. We can't hear yet, Rono. If we're having trouble with the video, with the sound, oh, there it is.
Somewhere in the still of the night, a whisper of love awakens inside. Somewhere in the dark there's a flame, a light in our hearts, guiding us through the pain. Years of chasing after the wind, but the treasures of life are hidden within. The answer will come down from above, piecing all of the world in one vision of love. And from our hearts we sing one song, all voices as one in the rhythm of life. And from our hearts we sing one song, all voices as one in the rhythm of love. Melody rises with the sun, from the silence that came and calls everyone. United Here we stand with one voice, a time to give thanks, a time to rejoice. Everything is clear to see, and the walls are no more between man and me. Together in this ocean of love, in the depths of the heart, united as one. From our hearts we sing one song, all voices as one, in the rhythm of love. And from our hearts we sing one song, all voices as one, in the rhythm of love. From our hearts we sing one song, all voices as one, in the rhythm of love. And from our hearts we sing one song, all voices as one, in the rhythm of love.
That was so good. I think Nina, if you're gonna, that was a lot of fun. Nina, can you take this next one?
If I can stop laughing.
Yeah, right.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you. Do you hear me? Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It's amazing, amazing to see all of you. Those who came back and the new faces here, we're always so happy. Please spread the word, invite your friends. We're looking to expand this circle of connection here. So if you want to invite anyone to next Thursday's event, we are here every Thursday at 6:30. And just a reminder to follow us on Facebook. The Facebook page is called We're One. That's WEREONE on Facebook. And we're also on Meetup. We're called Open Diner. So we're looking forward to seeing you all next week. And thank you again. I think at this point, we're going to close the Facebook Live. And whoever wants to stay here for, to hang out, chat, you're welcome to. We're going to keep the Zoom open for about 15 minutes.
I have another meeting I have to go to, but thank you, everybody. It was wonderful. See you next week.